Hi guys. Here we go, off to Earls Court. It's 6:30 in the morning, 6:30 a.m.
Confidence is high.
And we've got about 6.5 hours till Kylie arrives for a sound check. Go ahead, mate.
G2 and a G1, which is a 4-foot gate.
This is the call from Nigel, Kylie's driver, to say that they're on their way.
Here we are at Earls Court. Tom, you're magnificent. You're like a wildebeest. How many people are here tonight?
14,500.
It's glamorama
Yeah,
all the way.
This is the bit that people don't normally see.
That's me going in there to begin my transformation. Feathers, 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 feathers. Who knew that feathers were so expensive and so difficult to carry around? The feathers were really the starting point for the show. That was getting out of the starting blocks. We were in feathers.
That was the first thing that that fell into place. It was, we wanted to call it the Showgirl Tour because I think so many, it's such a visual kind of word, and I think it kind of encapsulates totally what she is.
It's basically Kylie, the representation of Kylie live in all her many incarnations.
I think it was a combination of all the best things that we've achieved, all the best things that she has done, and all the best things that she is.
She was very adamant that it was a retrospective of her career rather than just all of the biggest hits.
It's a celebration. It's just, we tried to encompass as much as we could to be fair to all different aspects of or moments in my career. And I think Alan and Willie did an incredible job to take something that is essentially nostalgic, but make it feel really modern at the same time.
All the incarnations of the different showgirl are different parts of her performing persona, really, and her repertoire persona. The Las Vegas showgirl, the Follies showgirl, the Space Age showgirl, the disco diva, the torch singer. And that was the initial brief for the design of the show, really.
I saw it as like a film, really. That's how I approached it. It was more like creating a film than kind of like a live show, really.
We had to incorporates 7 different kind of incarnations of the showgirl, and therefore devise a production design, a set design that was able to morph to suit these different incarnations. There had to be an overall look to the stage, and I think the driving force for that was was kind of an Art Deco reference, really.
Obviously, Showgirl, Art Deco. I'm just a big Art Deco fan anyway. My home has lots of Art Deco in it, and I think we were all aware of what shows existed, what shows we've seen, and we hadn't seen anything that had 1930s type references. And funnily enough, they're also, it's probably why I like Deco so much. A lot of it seems incredibly modern. There's definitely times where I can't grasp how it's all going to come together, and that's where I need to have faith in the people around me, the people I've employed to get this show on the road, that they know what they're doing, and to have patience that everything will just slowly come together. Hi guys.
Hi. The first time that Kylie came to the show, William insisted on blindfolding her.
Dear, we've got to go up some stairs.
Walked her through all these cables and...
There's a wire here, that's it.
Up a staircase to where we were, front of house with the mixing position, and we'd obviously got all the lights on and had it all looking beautiful, and they removed Kylie's blindfold and she was blown away, and quite rightly so.
Go, Phil!
Into position.
Beautiful piece of kit.
That's a nice piece of kit. It looks amazing.
I mean, fundamentally, the stage is a monster.
It's like its own character, the stage, really. It moves, it's like this little robot that has its own life.
On the Showgirl section at the very top of the show, all of the trusses move up to create this sort of beautiful arch, really.
It's a cool stage. It's not actually massive when you're on there. Like, there's 13 of the dancers, and we fill it up when we're doing a routine all together. But it's nice to have different levels and that kind of stuff that you can really work. There's a lot of freestyle in the show, so you can really work jumping off of the stairs and all that stuff.
We incorporated 5 lifts so that we could bring the choreography, the dancers, and the props onto the stage using lifts rather than the traditional way of kind of stage exits left and right. Underneath the stage there is Min doing quick changes, there's street lamps and gym equipment and feathers, and there's all this stuff lying around.
Personally, for me, the most inspiring thing is when it's described how it's going to look, and that's the point that I get very, very inspired on what I'm going to try and do with it musically.
I think the tour was an opportunity to celebrate her finest musical achievements, and also I was very aware of delivering to the fans something that they wanted. Like Kylie and I thought long and hard, and Steve did as well, about the choice of the early songs.
I felt it was really important to include a couple of songs that, far from being hits, weren't even singles, like Dreams, Impossible Princess, that are real fan favourites. Yeah.
As much as we have a lot of content on there and there's a lot, to hear, we just want to make sure it's a good live experience, and that the band and all the arrangements and everything are just a great accompaniment for her as an artist.
But in the name of understanding now, the problem should be shared.
will always sing live, wouldn't even think of not singing live. And the fact that she's, you know, surrounded by such an amazing band. I mean, she does the same sound checks that everybody else does. There's none of this kind of staffing.
I guess I'm partly superstitious about it. It's just part of the process of the day that once sound check has happened, well, vocally, I know I'm ready, everything's sitting in the right place.
So this is a sound check about to start now. The band won't be able to hear, Kylie won't be able to hear anything because they've all got their ears in.
What? I can't hear you.
So
everybody comes in. Andrew's very meticulous with his kind of musicians.
Be mindful of
they are very consummate professional musicians, you know, with obviously Andrew from a drumming point of view, Steve Turner, sort of amazing keyboards, Chris Brown, and you've got James Hato, who are pretty much, you know, sort of really locked down as professional musicians.
It just tastes so good, it makes me wanna cry.
It's really great that she's got the ability to dance and run about the stage and be swung from a moon or an anchor, or, you know, be held upside down and still actually perform vocally. It's actually quite incredible.
I've got you talking around a circus galaxy, all for the sake of sexy. Then there's my sensei, stop before you fall. I don't wanna pick you up again. This guy has got you all romantic, crazy each day. Do you think I'd listen?
The choice of having two choreographers was again part of wanting to create a retrospective. It was, I think Michael and Raphael are both incredibly diverse and incredibly different choreographers, and I think but they still worked incredibly well together.
William just called me and said, you know, we would like to work with you again. We're going to do a new tour, and you're one of our favorite choreographers, so, you know, we want to take you on board, and you know, we hope that you want to be working with us. And of course, I was really, really pleased and very excited, because it's always great for me to work with Kylie, William, and Alan, and the whole team.
The particular look we were looking for this time around was men who look like men, not men who look like boys, and women. Again, women who look like women and not women who look like little girls trying to be women.
You know, I wanted the boys from the start to have this very kind of military kind of look.
A specific elegance from the girls and strength throughout. And for them to be working with two different choreographers, they had to be quite versatile and up for it. And I think they've excelled.
What can I do with I Should Be So Lucky? And I wanted to do something special, something at least different for me. And I wanted to push the song into a different place. And I thought, I'm going to learn its sign language, I'm going to teach the dancers, and we're going to do it properly.
One of the briefs when I was talking to the designers of Kylie's outfits, that I wanted her to be like this, you know, a shimmering presence at the centre of the whole show. You know, it's all about glittering and shining, and like the sequins on the moon and the black reflective surface on the stage.
I'm wearing an absolute work of art. It's a phenomenal piece.
The first of Kylie's costumes in the show is a corset made by Mr. Pearl for John Galliano, and then the feathers are made again through John Galliano's studio by Stephen Jones, the milliner. He did the hat and also the bustle.
You see, it just hooks on the back of her costume, so it's actually very sort of easy to wear. And then there's these beautiful stars which pick up the embroidery on the corset, which of course was made by Mr. Pearl, who's the world's most famous corset maker. I think it was the first time that he'd ever really worked with Kylie. But of course for me, even though he made a big tail, my favourite thing is the headdress. And this is the headdress, which was sort of fountainy, to give height and lightness and everything. I didn't want anything to pull her down too much. Of course there's all these different sort of straps and things hanging off it here to keep it on during the show, because good heavens, she really does work. It's extraordinary. I feel exhausted just watching her.
Cutest shoes. It's like the rule, man. When you get new, you've got to bust the shoes, man. And she always wears cute little shoes.
All of Kylie's shoes are by Manolo Blahnik.
You love our Manolo Blahniks?
Yeah, I'm a little jealous.
When the dancers first saw the costumes, we had there were issues along the way. There were some tears shed by a few of them that they would have to try and perform these. The choreography wearing these sort of very, very difficult costumes.
They're sparkly and pink.
Those booty pants on the opening, they are very special.
You know, we've got dancers with kind of balls stuck all over them, with balloons, with massive headdresses.
I think the whole theme of my costume was a court jester, which is like a trickster person, does tricks and I'm like juggling and stuff. I've got balls, I've got this all-in-one catsuit thing on.
Fluorescent.
And fluorescent. Yeah, when the light hits me, you don't see head, you don't see eyes, you just see balls.
Making dancers' costumes is always a bit of a nightmare because they have to perform a function through the show, and dancers are notorious for moaning. I mean, they'd only really be happy if they had a leotard on.
One of my left feathers is still wonky actually. My elastic broke last night and my trousers broke the other night, so there's always stuff happening.
Gaffer tape. The real McCoy. I know.
The look that looks really good on Kylie for the show is a very fresh, non-masking take on the classic showgirl makeup. We've been using glitter, crystals, that kind of stuff, just enhancing her own natural beauty. It's pretty crazy. It's like something like a Formula One pit stop in there. So hair and makeup touch-ups are really the last sort of thing on the agenda. We're fighting getting hats off and different outfits on.
But what I want to say is what's really important to me being on tour is the family that I tour with.
If we're very careful, if everyone stays terribly quiet, we might catch a rare glimpse of the manager, Terry Grimmy.
I have always firmly believed that there's no harm in making a tour as happy and pleasant as possible.
Some artists are quite, you know, prima donna-ish, but she's not at all like that. She's just, you know, she's on a level.
I don't go off and kind of lock myself away from everyone. We're all very connected and involved.
Most of the people that are working on the show have either worked on previous Kylie tours or rather with other artists. We get to know each other very well. It's a very close way of living. We share our working day. We nights in the hotel, travelling together all the time. So it's a real family feel.
She has time for everyone. She has an amazing way of being able to make everyone feel like they're part of the family. You know, there's no us and them scenario, and that's right the way through to the little girl sitting outside doing security outside her door, right through to all the management people, and you know, it's brilliant.
Wow.
What fun doesn't go on?
You're asking the right people.
You're asking
There's a
Tweedledee and
lot of
Tweedledum.
we do is I go around every night. I do like 30 minutes, 20 minutes, 15 minutes, 10 minutes. Just gets everybody knows what the time is. They get used to my big booming voice every night doing the same thing. 20 minutes, everybody. 15 minutes. 15.
Showtime. Oh, yes.